ring?
I feel like it'll be a little entertaining. I don't know how long he's gonna last in with these big shots coming at him, but hey, only time will tell. You know, I'm not here to hype that shit. Not even my business. That's somebody else fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, I got my own fish to.
Terence Crawford is not going to do anything to Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford, yes, he's good. He's a 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed, but he couldn't even hurt Majumov.
They think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills.
Jermell Charlo explains why he believes Canelo Alvarez will defeat Terence Crawford. He emphasizes that the key factor will be how long Crawford can endure Canelo's heavy punches. Charlo highlights that Crawford is already moving up in weight classes, making the challenge even more difficult. According to him, the fight will be decided by how well Crawford handles Canelo's power and pressure throughout the bout. Some analysts point out that Crawford couldn't seriously hurt Jermell Charlo, who isn't even on Canelo's level. While Crawford was dominant against Errol Spence, facing Canelo is an entirely different challenge. Canelo is a more active, younger, and legendary fighter, making him a far tougher opponent for Crawford.
10-0. They never got in the ring with anything like a Terence Crawford. They never got in the ring with a former champion, with an elite fighter. And he couldn't hurt. He couldn't hurt Majumov. Canelo Alvarez is no Errol Spence, ladies and gentlemen. I know that some of y'all are hyped because what Terence Crawford did an incredible performance and an incredible job versus Errol the True Spence that was supposed to be the big fish, and he turned the big fish into tuna fish on your outline on your local supermarket. But Canelo Alvarez is not Errol Spence, my brothers. Canelo Alvarez is not Amir Khan. Canelo Alvarez is not Kelbrook. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa. Canelo Alvarez is not Felix Diaz. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys. Canelo Alvarez is not the Mean Machine. Canelo Alvarez is Canelo Alvarez, regarded as one of the greats, and not just the Mexican greats. I don't like how y'all like try to put it. Oh no, he's the best Mexican, because you don't want to say that he's one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Canelo Alvarez is one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Has carried the sport of boxing on his shoulder. And let me say it like this: leading up to the fight, Canelo Alvarez is more active than Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Terence Crawford. He's younger than Terence Crawford. He's more active than Terence Crawford. His resume is better than Terence Crawford. The people that he's fought is better than Terence Crawford. He's fought every damn style. He's fought the best Russians at the time with Kovalev. He fought the best Asian in Kazakhstan.
Kelbrook supports Canelo in a matchup with Crawford, stating that Canelo is unlike any fighter Crawford has faced before. He acknowledges Crawford's impressive win over Spence, but insists it doesn't prepare him for Canelo. Brook points to Canelo's strength, experience, and control at higher weight classes as key advantages. He believes Crawford has never faced someone with Canelo's power, skill set, and ring intelligence, making this the most difficult challenge of Crawford's career.
You've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's gonna have to, move up, and I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay. But when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but, Crawford's very, very, very good.
You think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring, but he's very much a good mover as well. Do you feel like he's still got the legs to be maybe out-moving Canelo if he needs to?
Well, I don't know. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more, he kind of sets his feet. And he's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from.
Analysts stress that Crawford might simply be too small to seriously hurt Canelo, As he's jumping nearly 3 weight divisions with minimal experience at 154 pounds, they draw comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, who fought multiple elite fighters. Before facing Canelo, whereas Crawford's only high-level bout at that weight was against Madrimov. Gabe Rosado adds that fighters accustomed to power at higher weights are less affected by shots from lighter opponents, raising concerns about Crawford's ability to handle Canelo's strength.
I think that Crawford may be too small to really impact and hurt Canelo Alvarez. He's moving up pretty much 3 weight classes, which is exactly what I said. I'm not counting 154. He had 1 fight, bro. He had 1 fight. Floyd Mayweather got more fights at 54 than Terence Crawford. Boop. Because Crawford, he fought Madrimov. Floyd fought De La Hoya, Cotto, and then he fought Canelo at 152. So you had an aging Floyd who fought more times at the higher weight class, and Bud looks to be a bigger dude than Floyd Mayweather, right? So when Floyd was 37, he moved to 52 and fought a much bigger Canelo. Crawford's 37, he fighting Madrimov with 11 fights. Not the same. It's not. I don't care what y'all talking about. The Bud Buddy's just gonna have to be mad at me because truth is truth. So that's a valid question. And again, I'll be glad when this fight's over. Put it that way. I don't care who wins. May the best man win. I hope it's a double knockout. I already told y'all. Just because I'm just over it and I want to get back to some of the other fights. There's other fights that are interesting and they make more sense. Like Brian Norman, Devin Haney. I'm interested in Yard versus Benavidez, etc. There's some fights we're hearing about, blah, blah, blah. So I'll be glad when this is over, to be 100% honest. There's more fights that actually fans have been requesting that matter, blah, blah, blah. But Rosado, he brought up a lot of good points. He was saying Crawford, he thinks he's too small. And he even gave his own personal experience. He said, I'm 180, 190 solid. And when I fight guys that are welterweights, even if they crack and they're known for being menacing, murderous punchers at the lower weight classes, 140, 147, them moving up, it feel like pillows when they fight me. When I get hit with their punches, it feel like pillows because I'm used to getting hit by triple, right? He used to Triple G work. He used to Lemieux work. So to me, this is kind of common sense, but common sense ain't that.
Experts highlight a major factor in the Crawford versus Canelo matchup, whether Crawford can absorb Canelo's power. While some think Canelo appears flat-footed, analysts clarify that his style is based on balance, timing, and precision. By planting his feet, Canelo maximizes the power behind each punch. Although Crawford has strong defense and movement, Canelo's patience means he eventually finds openings. The key question is whether Crawford can maintain composure under pressure and withstand Canelo's punishing shots. Many believe the fight may be decided not by punch count, but by how well Crawford can absorb damage.
Is Crawford going to be able to take Canelo's punches? And is Canelo gonna be skilled enough to not keep on getting banged up by Crawford and his craftiness? It's the battle of two greats, you know what I mean? So I believe that Canelo, you really see him, when you see him fight, he almost got a one way of style and it works for him. He likes to get in there and bang you up. He likes to throw hard punches. He likes to break you down. He likes to hit you everywhere. You're gonna hit in your body, your arms, the forehead, the ear, the neck. Wherever he can land a good one, he's gonna land it. And that usually breaks him down. So with some fighters, I see is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills. He does everything almost perfect. But yeah, he's flat-footed, but you got to realize that he also has hell of a head movement and body movement. He understands, and he's perfected that rolling with.
Crawford's performance against Errol Spence is remembered as one of the most dominant in boxing history, showcasing speed, timing, defense, and precision. That night secured his legacy as one of the greats. Now his training partners claim he looks even better faster, sharper, and more focused. Despite being older, Crawford's conditioning and preparation are at their peak. Observers believe this could give him the edge he needs against a dangerous opponent like Canelo.
Sharper than ever, more dangerous than ever, and most importantly, he looks like the greatest version of himself. Now, can we actually believe this? Can Terence Crawford at nearly 39 years old, with him being inactive, with him being heavier than ever, is it possible that the man will actually look better than ever? Now, let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about someone like Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about the elite of the elite. And if I'm gonna be honest, Terence Crawford, when he fought Errol Spence, in my opinion, in all my years of watching combat sports, I'm a MMA guy turned into boxing. But I have never, ever, ever in my life watched an elite championship fight and had my jaw absolutely drop to the floor with the greatness that I witnessed. And that is the only way to describe what Terence Crawford did versus Errol Spence. In my opinion, that was the greatest performance in our lifetime. I mean, I can't go back to the old days, I'm not a historian, but as far as I'm concerned, that was the greatest performance I have ever seen in my life. And especially to who he did it to, Errol Spence. Dangerous southpaw. At the time, I believe he was pound for pound number 3. And Terence Crawford absolutely.
Former middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik offers a strategic outlook for Crawford. He advises Crawford to control the early rounds and not let Canelo dictate the pace. By using his footwork, combinations, and intelligence, Crawford can force Canelo to work harder than usual. Pavlik notes that Canelo tends to slow down in later rounds. If Crawford can keep the pressure up early, he might reduce Canelo's power in the later stages and either outpoint him or score a late stoppage.
Stay in Canelo's ass a little early on, put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds, because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivol. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo could control the fight and the ring generalship, like, yeah, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance-wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on, you know, the early rounds and make him have to play catch-up in rounds 3, 4, 5. And then by round 7, that's where, you know, he could really...
Dan Rafael points out that Canelo has already faced and absorbed punches from naturally smaller fighters like Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan, and Miguel Cotto. Canelo proved he could handle their speed and adjust accordingly. In contrast, Crawford has yet to face a naturally bigger opponent with the physicality that Canelo possesses. While Crawford has dominated across divisions, stepping in against someone who's naturally stronger is a new and significant test. Rafael suggests this. Experience gap may give Canelo a critical advantage.
Dan Rafael kind of made a great point when talking about sizes. Because he said, if you look at them two together now, they look the same size. Mm-hmm. He said, people have got the idea of the size thing wrong. It's not looking at them as a physical package. It's who has absorbed the bigger shots in the weight division. So, and it was good. It was a very good point. He was like, Canelo has been hit by light heavyweights and super middleweights for the better part of a decade. Basically. He's so used to taking those shots. Whereas Crawford hasn't. Crawford's been hit by 140 guys and 147 guys for the best part of a decade. Yeah. What's Crawford going to be like? So basically he's trying to say, Canelo could easily absorb Crawford shots. Mm-hmm. Can Crawford easily absorb Canelo's punches?
If you're taking shots from Triple G, Sergey Kovalev, Dmitry Bivol, and you're staying on your feet, not getting hurt,
not even getting wobbled.
Not even getting wobbled, just literally shaking it off.
Yeah.
You can take Terence Crawford's shot.
Mikey Garcia gives a blunt assessment, stating that Canelo can seriously hurt Crawford. He respects Crawford's skills, but doubts they'll be enough to withstand Canelo's power. Garcia specifically mentions Canelo's brutal body shots, to the ribs and uppercuts, to the midsection as major threats. He believes once Canelo starts landing clean, the fight's momentum could shift rapidly, and that Crawford may not be able to recover. Garcia's comments reflect widespread concerns about the size and power gap.
Happens when he takes a shot from Canelo. One of those uppercuts from Gia or those.
He could get dropped, or he feels it enough to be like, fuck this, I'm boxing. And goes on the bicycle and turns southpaw for the rest of the night. And I wouldn't blame him either. Fuck it, you're gonna go in there and collect the fucking paycheck at that point.
Right.
You're not gonna go get hurt.
Right.
What good is it to get fucking 20, 30 million if you are fucking hurt physically, end up in the hospital and hurt just physically, life-changing, you don't want that shit.
But you think Canelo could hurt him? It could be life-changing?
Sure, he's that big, fool. One punch could fucking knock him out bad enough to hurt his eye socket or detach retina. You never fucking know.
Right.
So no one wants that shit.
Crawford said if he beats him, he's in the top 3 GOATs of all time.
Oh, for sure. If Crawford beats Canelo, then for sure. Give him all the fucking props in the world, bro. And he actually does have a chance. It's not like he doesn't have a chance. Don't be too surprised if he fucking pulls it off in the decision.
Antonio Tarver offers a more optimistic view of Crawford's chances by focusing on his mental preparation. He notes that Crawford is known for visualizing his fights in advance, which allows him to anticipate challenges. Tarver praises Crawford's adaptability, intelligence, and ability to adjust mid-fight. He believes the bout will be decided not by weight classes, but by skill sets. If Crawford executes his strategy well, his boxing IQ and versatility might allow him to overcome Canelo's physical advantages.
Terence got to be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill.